Yes, people, what is good? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Bad Blood. New content, oh my gosh, I was about to say new branding, but I've just realized I've just messed up the brand, the brand, the branding, sorry, because I put two logos in. The logo's gone now, but new branding. I hope you like it. Let me know your thoughts. Tosin, welcome back to the channel. How are you doing?
I'm good. Well, actually, I'm okay. I'm okay. I was annoyed.
I'm surprised you said good.
Yeah, I was annoyed. I mean, I'm good because I'm at a point now where I don't let Arsenal affect what I do outside of life. I mean, outside of football. But if we're talking football-wise, then I'm annoyed. So yeah.
Trust me, once you master that art, it's a it's a good thing to have. Me, I'm sort of a halfway house. I I thought I learned to master that in the wake of Tottenham's just pure and utter garbage that was the last probably 5 years. But slowly but surely, this team have sucked me back in, and now it's very difficult to work on Mondays. Honestly, it's very, very difficult to work on Mondays after a Spurs loss. I can't even lie to you. Not because I'm still upset, but more because there's still a lot of discourse that I'm engaged with because I just want to talk about it. But anyway, let's get into specifics. People, make sure you smash the like button, make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you turn your post notifications on. This is the Bad Blood podcast, and now we have to talk about our two teams. We both played West London teams. We both struggled. You at least picked up a point. We picked up 0 points. You conceded 1 goal. We conceded 4 goals. You were playing away from home. We were playing at home. I'm going to start with us first because
Yeah, you must.
we are we've basically lost 2 games in succession. We are winless in 3 Premier League matches. So we drew to Fulham, we lost to Bournemouth, we've now lost to Chelsea at home. We are on 7 losses, Premier League losses in 15 games, right? We've lost more games than Bournemouth, we lost more games than Fulham, we've lost more games than Everton. We've lost more
That,
games than Everton.
that's nuts.
So yeah,
That
4-2
is
defeat.
nuts.
Yeah, 4-2 defeat at home
Everton.
yeah, we've lost more games than Everton. Yeah. Yeah, we've lost more games than Everton. So yeah, I think I'm at a point now where I mean we've always known the issue. Me and you, we've spoken
What?
about it on this pod.
London's Manager of the Year that
That
they
you know
gave him
that
after
award was a
creaming him.
travesty.
That they gave him after 1 month of this weird. You mean London Manager of the Year? Really? That guy? No, not him to lose more than Everton. London Manager of the Year they gave him after 2 months. 2 months of decent form. They ain't giving that to Slot yet.
I mean,
And
he's
he's
not based in
arguably
London.
done
He's not
way
based in
more.
London. He's not based in London, but I get your point. And just to
I'm
note,
never going to forget that.
yeah,
Never.
you shouldn't. I think it's a shambles. And I said that. I said that at the time. I said that at the time as well. Like, I don't really understand what this award is based on. What's the criteria, or how on earth has he won this award? Not even on a hating thing, but just you're literally not the best manager in London. So why are you winning the award? But anyway, let's not deviate. Spurs have lost to Chelsea 4-2. That is now, by the way, that is Chelsea's 7th win in 9 appearances in this new stadium for Tottenham. Did you
Three
know
point,
that?
3 point lane.
7 wins in 9. And this is the second season in succession. I'm just reading off the stats. This is the second season in succession we've conceded 4 goals at home to Chelsea. And both implosions under the same manager, right? But what really concerns me is Spurs imploding is a thing, it's a common thing under this ownership, this hierarchy, right? And we're now in a stage where fans are doing that thing where we're trying to understand what is the biggest issue. Is it the ownership, which has been a long-standing issue? Is it the manager? Is it the players? My thing is it's a combination of all three. However, it all
It's a perfect cocktail.
Yeah, it's literally the perfect cocktail. It's like a dirty pint. Remember in uni, you drink a dirty pint and they mix everything together. It's literally a dirty pint. But the problem is the the owners of the pub, Enoch, they're the ones that keep serving these pints. They serve us these pints every one. It's the truth. They serve us these pints every 1.5 years. All they're doing is they're changing absinthe for vodka. They're changing vodka to rum. They're changing rum to gin, right? And then they're sprinkling a little orange juice, apple juice, cranberry juice, beer. It's the truth. They're just mixing all this stuff together, and they are genuinely the architects. But I want to get your point of view on where Tottenham go from here, and whether you think Ange Postecoglou, knowing the issues that we have with our club, whether you think Ange Postecoglou should keep his job.
Wow. Ange out talked already. Where do Tottenham go from here? I think they need to establish their business model.
We already have, and that's the problem.
No, but you haven't, because you can't establish your business model and say we're going to be this club that buys young players, develops them, sells them on, kind of get top four, maybe not, but it's okay. Set the expectations low, but then buy a manager who says, "Hey, in my second season, I always win things." You can't, like, the two. That's an oxymoron. The two don't compute, right? So I think they need to assess their business model. Of course, the owners need to take a big look at themselves. They need to look, okay, cool, like what are we actually trying to achieve with this club? And I think secondly, should Ange go? I don't think he should go yet. I think he should. I think he should be given a chance to at least turn this around. And I think I think he just needs to. He needs to learn. I don't think he really learns. I think he kind of just plays the same way over and over and over again. I'm looking at him. I don't see any way he's learned or improved as a manager since last season. He's exactly the same guy, exactly the same style of play, exactly the same nonchalance in thinking, cool, we're just going to play one way and one way only. In fact, probably the only time I've seen him kind of not do that was against Tottenham, was against Man City away, where you're thinking, okay, cool, wow, that was nearly pretty much a perfect away performance, but that's a dime a dozen. I don't see him do that against Bournemouth. I don't see him do that against Brighton. I didn't see him do that against Chelsea. So I think he's hot right now, but I don't think he should go. I think he should be given a chance, because there's obviously a decent manager there. But I just think he just needs to be humble.
But then my question to you is this, and I'm not trying to convince you to get rid of him, because me, I'm torn. My answer changes literally depending on the day now. Like, I was vehemently arguing he should stay, but it's just sometimes the way he comes out of these press conferences, it screams to me like a man who just is never going to be the guy to change. He's never going to be the, and that's genuinely the vibe I get from Ange Postecoglou. You know what's right. You know what will give this team a better chance of navigating this game better, and you won't do it. For what reason? Like, for what reason? You won't put players in positions where they can succeed. You won't cater to the opposition for the sake of getting 3 points. Sorry, you won't cater to the opposition for the sake of not apparently going against your principles, your style of play. And I think that's where I'm at with it, because it's like I have to ask myself this question. Yeah, you look at that game yesterday. We were 2-0 up, and the entire midfield is vacant. It was just a sea of blue in the middle of the park. Chelsea, they had about 4 players there. They had about 4 players in the midfield. Where were our players? Our number 8, he's asking our number 8 to go and press their centre backs or their fullback. He's asking our number 10 to go and press their centre back and their fullback. If Solanke doesn't get the, oh sorry, he's asking our number 10 to go and press their one of their midfielders if Solanke doesn't press them first. He's asking our wingers to do the same with the fullbacks. He's literally creating an environment where it's so easy for teams to get at Tottenham. And I have to ask myself, is this going to improve if we get better players? Because it's quite simple for me to distinguish what's a personnel issue, which leads back to Enoch and co. So chasing that game yesterday, the fact that we're having to bring on Werner, we're having to bring on 18-year-old in Bergville, we're having to play an 18-year-old Archie Gray at centre back, we're having to rinse Destiny. Huh?
Is he a centre back or a midfielder?
Who? Gray?
Yeah,
he's a midfielder. He's a midfielder.
Why does he play? He's played. This ain't the first time he's played centre back for you guys.
He played centre back in pre-season. He's played it, I think, once before this. But the reason why he's playing it is because we've got injury issues. We've only got 3 senior centre backs, and then Ben Davies acts as our auxiliary 4th centre back. Romero went off injured. Ben Davies is injured, and Mickey van der Ven could only play about 70 minutes. So for me, it's like, you said it yourself. When it's good, it's good. Like, he's got the minerals. For me, he's so clear. He's got the minerals to be a really good coach. And like, the issues that he has, they're his personal issues, right? And the biggest indictment I can give to Ange is, you are not performing well enough in your remit as a manager for us to make it solely about Daniel Levy. It's so he's the biggest issue. Enoch are the biggest issue, and their attitude when it comes to really getting the caliber of players that can improve this team, that can take this team forward, or just at the very least equipping this team to actually withstand the rigors of a full Premier League campaign. They shortchange us constantly. And leave so many gaps in the squad. And the manager typically has to paper over those gaps and cracks. And you're like, how is he meant to navigate through this? But the thing is, we can't apply all of the focus on that because he's performing so badly in his remit as a manager. Players are not playing well. The results are completely shot, right? We win maybe 1 game, 2 games in 5 or 6. We were winning maybe like 1 in 5, 2 in 6. The form is quite literally mid-table the entire calendar year. Like, everything is pointing towards this guy being a candidate for the sack. Literally everything. The only saving grace for him, is the fact that he is doing this under Daniel Levy's tenure. And that's the saving grace for him, that we've been in this situation before. We've sacked managers on the guise of, or under promise that, another manager is going to come in and give us another uplift, a better manager. And then I know we'll be in this. I'm guaranteeing it. If he gets sacked, I will be having this exact same conversation with you in 2 years' time with the next manager. Because that's what happened under Nuno. That's what happened under Conte. That's what happened under Jose. And all of these managers, they deserve to be sacked, by the way. They absolutely deserve to be sacked. The same way Ange Postecoglou, he deserves to be sacked. He does. But sacking him now means that it gives these lot another excuse to get out of their pathetic attempt to really bolster this guy's squad and give him the tools to succeed. He should be doing better than he has done with this crop of players. Absolutely. That's why he deserves to be sacked. But can this club actually say that they've equipped this guy to the best of their ability to compete in this season? Not a chance. Not a chance.
I mean, you say with this crop of players, right, you should be doing better.
You should.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the likes of Nottingham Forest and Fulham with their squad, then yes. But then if you actually assess this Spurs squad, right, what's the ceiling?
The ceiling is 4th. That's the ceiling.
No, it's not.
It's 4th or 5th.
No, it's not, man. It really isn't. The ceiling is probably like maybe 6th. Look at your team. Deep it. Look at your team. Who's your centre backs?
Centre backs Romero and Van der Ven.
Okay, those are.
Are you telling me that you swap
Van der Ven is a good centre back. I'm talking your overall squad.
Okay.
I'm talking your overall squad, right?
Yep.
You've got loads of injury issues as well, right? Yeah. Which you had last season and you tailed off, right?
But we had players come back and we still tailed off.
Yeah, but look at your team. So look at the team you started against. Look at your team you started against Chelsea. You had Basuma in midfield and you had Pape Sarr. What's these guys' level?
Basuma's a good player, Sarr's a good player, but that's about it.
I'm sorry, I'm not having this whole like the guy. I've seen him not be trusted by. I've seen him not do what a good midfielder is meant to do in games that really matter. I've only ever seen him have like you gassed him up last season, comparing him to Declan Rice when he started off. He started off well, but like he doesn't look to me. He's not a dependable guy. I'm not looking to. I'm not looking to like. And Sarr is a decent player at best. He's one of those players on FM. Who's a good example? Remember Bayern Munich on FM, the Alton Top brothers. Hamid Alton Top. He's that auxiliary player. You know he can come and do something, score a screamer, score a rocket. But that's all he's at. He's never gonna. He's not that needle mover. So there's your midfield. Your centre backs. You've got Van der Ven. You've got Romero. Romero is a good centre back. Very erratic. Clearly doesn't want to be at the club anymore. I personally think so. Van der Ven is a good centre back, right? He's going to improve. Dragusin is okay. Okay centre back. Udogi is okay.
No, he's good.
No, he's okay because defensively he's terrible. His position is
terrible this season.
Last season he started off like a house on fire, right? But what were we looking at?
I get the point you're making. Listen, so when I said the ceiling is fourth, I'm saying if this team if they overperform, the cap for this team, the ceiling is fourth. But what I'm trying to say is there are good enough players to perform better than we have done. I do.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm making. Is our squad better than Chelsea's? No. Is it better than Liverpool's? No. Is it better than yours? Hell no. Is it better than City's? Even with Man City's squad, their midfield thinning out? Of course not. So then you ask yourself a question: is it better than Aston Villa? It's comparable. I can't say conclusively it's flat out better, but there are some parts of their team you take us. There are some parts of their team you take theirs, right? That's Aston Villa. So then now we're saying this squad is probably fifth or sixth best, and then you've got Man United, right? So again, I feel like we're in the cap is fourth, but really the squad quality is around fifth to seventh, right? So let's just say that's where we're meant to be. Where are we currently in the table?
Well, that's a good point.
Where are we currently in the table? So if I look at the teams that are fifth to seventh right now, and I'm trying not to lean too heavily on Nottingham Forest, right? Because obviously they're the outlier. Aston Villa, they've won like 2 matches in 9.
Yeah, they've been terrible. And you guys are still.
They've been terrible. They're 5 points ahead of us.
That's crazy for me.
They're 5 points ahead of us. This is a team that have conceded 23 goals, Tosin, and they are 5 points ahead of us. They've conceded 23. Bournemouth, I saw a stat since I can't remember what it is, but I think in 2024, Iraola at Bournemouth has picked up more points than Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham.
Yeah, he has.
So this is what I'm saying. So like, I'm not even asking him to finish fourth. I may predict that on the Big Six just because I want to be optimistic, but I would never ask for Ange to be sacked on the basis you don't finish fourth, because I know deep down they've not done anywhere near enough to equip this guy to compete with someone like a Chelsea. Yeah, really, in my heart of hearts, I know that. But have they done enough? Has he got enough to compete with Newcastle, to compete with Man United, to compete with Brighton, to compete with Aston Villa? Yes, he does. So when we're seeing these results, when we're seeing these performances, when we're seeing the fluctuation between this game, when we're seeing a manager that goes out of his way to do the right thing to get the team the best result possible for the sake of you not compromising your principles, it makes me believe that this guy is not going to change. And that's where I'm at right now. We've already established his issues are inward, but how can I cling on to a manager and trust a manager who has shown me continuously that he is unwilling to change consistently? Not haphazard, not once in a blue moon, consistent change, consistent game management, consistently good use of subs, consistent respect for the opposition. This is the Premier League. Respect for the opposition. If he had more, if he had a better balance of respecting the opposition versus his base way of playing, it'd be fine. And fundamentally, he has no regard for defensive stability. No regard. He has no regard for defensive stability. You may commit more bodies forward. I mean, more bodies back. You may commit more bodies back to defend transitions, but fundamentally, you do not prioritize defense. You don't. Everything is geared towards Spurs scoring, even at the risk of our defensive stability, as you saw against Chelsea. You saw Jamie Carragher, he spoke about it. So when we're saying these things, as much as I like Ange's attitude, as much as I like the football, as much as I like the fact that we can create chances, I actually think that's where he's been really good. Spurs creating chances, Spurs scoring goals. Like, he's managed to do that with a crop of players who, let's face it, aren't that good. They're not good, right? But what is it at the expense of? We concede goals. We lose football matches. We struggle to control games. So I'm just clinging. I'm trying to ask myself, what is Ange actually giving me to cling on to suggest that you are going to change? If we added 6 elite players, what's telling me that he's going to change his approach and manage football games better and utilize those 6 players as and when needed?
I mean, when you put it that way, then I mean, there is no other choice but to sack him, really. But
It's tough.
I'm just thinking, but like, let's say you do hypothetically sack him. Who do you and then you bring in? Let's say you probably convince a Marco Silva that your project is amazing and whatnot, and then he comes and he signs and whatnot. It's
the same shit.
The same squad. That's what I mean. I will agree with you that manager wise, his performance has been terrible. Like, as a manager, he's been bad. Like, he's been rotten. Your away form has been shambolic. The way you set up has been diabolical. What's the word? It's just a goal to see game states happen the way they are and then not really do anything to change it, thinking that your team, like I have to be honest, like, yesterday was just a joke, like an absolute joke. You're 2-0 up. Why haven't you coached your team how to control the game? Like, I don't understand that. I mean, these players, these Premier League players, they're not all world-class players, right? I mean, none of world-class players, but these are players that understand how to control a game of football. So it's just, yeah. I mean, when you put it that way, I think it's kind of hard to argue against him not being sacked, to be honest. So he's probably dead man walking at the moment, to be honest. Because
the thing is, he actually isn't, because the club are actually, they said that they're backing him. I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, but when clubs always say that, that means that the manager's getting the sack.
We'll see, because I think the discontent is increasing, right? We'll see. I just don't know where we go with this ownership. Ange, no Ange, Marcus Silva, no Marcus Silva, Iraola, no Iraola, whoever it is. I don't know where we go with this ownership.
My thing is, you spent 60 M's on Solanke, right? That's not a bad sign. Yeah. 65.
He's good. He's a good player.
I would rather spend
mediocre this season.
I would rather spend 65 million on Solanke than on Kai Havertz. So, I mean, Solanke is not a bad signing. He's actually going to be, he's a good player. He's going to come good. But
he is.
You spent, what, 65, 75 on Bergvall, Gray, and Odebert?
Gray cost 40. Odebert cost 25 million plus 5 million in add-ons. Bergvall cost around 8-9 million. So that's almost 80 million. And then we signed the Korean kid for around, I think, 10 million as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Bergvall even cost more. Bergvall, I think, might have cost maybe 16.
I find that strange, man. Like, I don't get it. Like, how are you spending 80 M's? 80 M, like, I get it. And I hear where Spurs fans are coming from. It's just, don't you have like a director of football? Like, that is so strange. Because those types of players, you should never. That's what 3/4 of your summer transfer activity around prospects. That is crazy for a team that's challenging. They should be a one. There should only be one of them per summer or per transfer window, and then you do the bulk of your business. It should never be for me, that is laughable.
Do you know what's mad? I agree, it is laughable. And do you know what's mad though? I don't even mind if they sign. They could sign. You can sign as many kids as you want in one window. Just don't let it compromise the budget for the players that can actually really give us an injection of quality for the here and now. That's what astounds me. And this isn't the first, second, third, fourth time they've done this. They did this 4 years ago, 3 years ago with Nuno Espirito Santo. They did it in these window. They signed one senior player in Romero and they gave him kids. This is like it's mental behavior. Like, how are managers meant to thrive in these conditions? It just doesn't make sense. And Ange had no Europe last year, and we struggled with that squad. You've made the squad. In theory, the squad is better per se because you've added the likes of Solanke, you've got rid of the likes of Emerson, you've reintegrated the likes of Jet Spence, you've added some younger. Exactly. He doesn't play, but Spence is part of the squad. But you've added from a fan perspective, I'd much rather see Archie Gray come off the bench than a Oliver Skip or Højbjerg or whatever. But
that makes sense.
But the fact of the matter, But the fact of the matter is the point you're making. How much of a dent right now do these players make with regards to looking up at Chelsea, in fact, forget Chelsea, looking up at Arsenal, looking up at Liverpool, looking up at Man City? How much of a dent do these players make?
None.
And that's the problem. And that's why I go back and forth with the Ange thing. Ange deserves to lose his job, no doubt. But the better manager, supposedly better manager that's going to come in, they're going to have to work under these conditions. Yeah, these conditions, fundamentally, they are flawed. They are flawed.
But, I mean, let's say Ange this, Ange that. Where's your player's bottle?
Keep going. Talk.
Where's their bottle?
Keep going.
How in a game like that can Basuma do that?
Because he's not good enough.
Where's Kulusevski? Where's Son? Where's the leaders of this team? Why is no one talking? Why is no one pulling? People like to take the mickey out of Zinchenko when after a goal he pulls the team together. Yeah, team spirit, corny, blah blah. But where's someone doing that for Spurs? Where's the leaders at?
Agree. We've spoken about this several times. We've spoken about this several times. There's no calming presence. There's no authoritative presence on the football pitch to really corral these players when they're going through turmoil. And the funny thing is, Son has been poor this season, but Son I actually thought he played well yesterday. I think Kulusevski.
That's why he made the changes, because he gave who was playing right back? It was Yeah, he gave him a tough time.
Yeah, he gave him a tough time. So but yeah, Kulusevski scored, but he was poor. That was Sar's worst game in a couple of weeks. He was so bad. Basuma was probably the only one that was playing well in the first half, and then second half he just descends into chaos. And that's why you can't depend on players like Basuma. You just can't.
Yeah, that reminded me of Granit Xhaka in his heyday.
I actually thought the only players who for me come out with any sort of credit in that game is Dominic Solanke, the centre backs.
Good finish.
The centre backs.
Yeah.
And that's it. I thought Destiny, and you know what? I actually thought Destiny played. I thought he played well, personally. I felt like he didn't really let Neto get much change out of him in the game. I thought that's probably one of his better games in recent weeks, but I'm clutching at straws trying to find credit for a 4-2 performance. It's just not good enough.
But my thing is, how Sancho's goal was good, but that is abysmal defending.
Yep.
That is abysmal defending, because
he's not even fast.
Bro, that is a bit, you know exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna cut in on his right foot, he's gonna do the, and how is he dancing past like 4 or 5 players? It is abysmal defending. And he had such a massive gap to take the shot as well.
Yep.
Shocking defending.
Keep going.
Absolutely awful. I know I kind of gas Saka when he comes in and you can't stop him, but it's a bit different. Like people, I'm not even trying to be a hater. There was nothing inventive about that goal. He literally did an Ashley Young. Cut in on the right and just run and shoot. You know, there was no invention, no I saw a little feint here and there, but it was shocking defending. Absolutely atrocious. And even Palmer, his dribble for the Enzo goal was good. That was a decent, but he had a subdued game. Subdued. Your players, man, wow, just real bad. That's why for me, if you look at Ange's managerial performance by itself, yeah, he should be sacked.
Yeah, it's not just him though. You're right. It's everything.
There's so much there that you can't just focus on that. It's but it's also the players. It's also Daniel Levy. So it's just
fully agree. There are players that have been bad all season, like Pedro Porro, but Ange won't drop him.
I don't get why he won't get Spence. It's weird.
He won't drop him.
Weird.
Do you get what I'm saying? He won't drop him. But we know Romero's been shit this season. We know that. Even Van de Ven was dropping levels before he got injured. Destiny's been poor this season. We know there's so many players that have been poor. And
funny enough, Fraser Forster's actually probably been one of your better players the past.
In the last 2 games, yeah. But I don't know, man. It's yet another. It's literally like Groundhog Day for Spurs fans. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. Me personally, I think I'm done with Ange. I like him, but until it's the truth. Until I see a man who's willing to actually flex his approach in game consistently and utilize the squad to the max of its capability, I can't trust you. And once I can't trust you, that's me done. That's me done. But anyway, let's move on to Arsenal because let's move on to Arsenal because you lot, man. You lot. Sheesh. Fulham at home. There was a lot of people in my DMs that were messaging me. There's a guy from my old college who messages me all the time. He goes, "Oh, we're gonna cut the gap to 4 points when we win." And I said, "When? You want to be careful. Fulham they're no slouches. They were terrible. Granted, they didn't play well at all, and you still didn't beat them. Talk to me, man. Talk to me."
They were terrible. I'll take losing to the Fulham of last season. That one they outplayed us. They were terrible, absolutely rubbish. Did nothing. It will be Smith rubbish. They played terrible. Now, did we limit them to playing bad? Probably, yeah, we did. But it's just the same old, man. How can a team have 2 shots the whole game, 2 on target, score 1 goal, and we draw the game 1-1? How does that even make sense? So that's why for me, you're talking about Ange. I've given him my backing for this season, but I think at the end of this season, if we end trophyless and not a major trophy, not a Champions League, not a Premier League, I think he's got to be on probation the next season. I think I'm looking at him because you spoke about Ange's stubborn. I'm looking at his stubbornness. I'm looking at how his what's the word I'm looking for? His overthinking, his need to be extra, his protagonist. This fetish for being the protagonist all the time. It's starting to do my head in a bit because we've all seen the past 3 games what's unlocked the team. Yes, Odegaard coming back, but having natural right backs, natural left back, right? The way you want to play, we see that. It helps the left-hand side, the dynamics, all of these sorts of things. What does he do? He puts Timber left back. And he puts
a lot of your fans were not happy about that. I remember. I didn't get that.
As soon as I saw that team, I'm like, oh man, this could be long. As soon as I saw it, and then lo and behold, Fulham score. I'm like, dang. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's get back into this. But I think with him, questions need to be asked about him because as much as we can joke about set piece FC and whatnot, even though I put out a video a couple of days ago saying I think that's ridiculous, even though 25% of only 25% of our goals this season have been set pieces. We've scored goals without set pieces. We're taking apart teams. I think I saw a stat today that's crazy. I think our XG per game in open play has gone down from 1.3 last season to like 0.8 this season. That shows there's a problem. 100%. There's a problem, and people are talking about our XG, and we had an XG of what is it? We had 4 big chances from the Fulham game. Fulham had just 1, right? But two that XG of 2, that XG of 4, whatever it is, whatever number it is, the main big chances they came from corners, they came from set pieces. So I think Arteta's got. I think I'm looking at Arteta. I'm looking entirely at you, bro. This is your fault. And yeah, I just think this tactic of Saka giving him the ball, like we went back to pre-Odegaard football. It was just weird. Like they've clearly tripled up on Bukayo. Why do you keep giving him the ball? Why is there an insistence to attack?
Because I feel like there's no emphasis. There's no real emphasis to really balance out your attack on the left-hand side. It's weird.
It's not even people talk the left-hand side. It's not just the left-hand side. We don't have a striker, bro. Like as in like I've not really been at him for a long time, but I'm going back number 29. I'm not calling him by his name. 29 Havertz, bruv. Like what are you bringing to the team? I'm sick and tired of seeing week in week in. Oh yeah, duality and physical. Oh man, out of possession monster. I don't need you to be an out-of-possession monster. You're either my striker or you're not. What are you doing? When Odegaard wasn't in the team, my man was ghosting central mid, right wing, left wing. It's like, bro, like the ball doesn't stick. There's no dynamism. There's no in-behind runs. Like we're playing against a low block. And again, I'm looking at Arteta for this. Like, bro, like what are you doing? Because all of a sudden your wingers aren't making runs inside the fullback anymore. Martinelli, like and Martinelli, he's getting unfairly criticized. He's been terrible, but you're not playing to his strengths. The guy is good at running in behind, getting in and creating chance and doing destruction in the box. Like why do we insist on playing a certain way? I just think, look, questions are going to need to be asked about him at the end of the season. I'm not going to lie to you, because bro, like it's him that's costing us points now. These draws, it's you, it's the manager. He's costing us. I'm not gonna come out of this and be like, oh yeah, we dominated Fulham, we limited them. It's like, no, bro, you cost us, man. You're indecision, you're tinkering, you're wavering between many opinions. You're weird horniness for a guy like for a non-striker, like bro, like
it's weird.
He's so weird. We've not had a problem
himself to Kai Havertz. He's nailed himself to Kai Havertz.
Yeah, and like what is your obsession with this passion project? Like the guy was never when we bought him for 65 M's. I actually thought we're spending that money on the bench option. But then when you think about it, 65 M's with the wages, he's gonna start. And I'm just thinking this. I don't like what I'm seeing. I think.
Do you know what else? Do you know what else I've noticed with Arteta as well? And it's been I think this has been a constant criticism of mine of his, even though he's elevated up the ranks. The guy doesn't rotate his attack well enough. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He run. Even Kai Havertz.
He run Kai Havertz into the ground.
Kai Havertz is crap. Let's be real. I don't rate him. I think he's crap is harsh, but I don't think he's good enough. And I've always felt that. I don't think he's a good enough footballer. I don't think he's a good enough finisher. I don't think he's a striker. I don't think he's good enough altogether. But there has to be something said about the way in which this Arteta guy runs players into the ground, attackers. You don't rotate players. And then the players that you were initially planning on rotating those players with, you won't give them enough game time, and then they'll come in from the cold, and of course they'll have no rhythm. The same thing happened with Emil Smith-Rowe. The same thing happened with that Fabio Vieira guy who wasn't good enough. The same thing happened with even going back to Nicolas Pepe days. Like the guy's been doing it for years. And make no mistake, if you lot do not win this title with Man City beaten down like they are, and you let Onslaught get a title on your head top, it's going to be long. It's going to be long, and he must be flogged. He absolutely must be flogged.
It's an absolute, like, I'll be real. If Liverpool win the league, which is looking likely, it's looking like they're going to, it's not over yet, but
It's not over yet. I don't think
It's not over yet. I'm not gonna be like title done, but like these results, they're diminishing our chances. I mean, a 9 point, because I mean Everton could beat them, but and even if they beat Everton, 9 point swing is we're making life hard for ourselves.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect. Granted, yes. Granted, there's been mitigating circumstances. We've had stupid suspensions, stupid red cards, which are now laughable because you've got keepers that can punch a player and to the point that you get a concussion and only get a yellow, but Rice rolls a ball and it's just, we're seeing stupidness now. But anywho, it's getting to the point now where though there's been mitigating circumstances, yes, we've played Newcastle away. Yes, we've played Chelsea away. Yes, we've played Spurs away. Yes, we've played Villa away. Yes, we've played Fulham away. Yes, we played City away. These are not easy. These are tough places to go to. The fact of the matter is, we've picked up 12 points out of our last 24 away from home this season. 12. And more time, more often than not, it's these stupid draws. Chelsea, we were winning, draw. City, we were winning, draw. Bournemouth, your team selection cost us the game. Stupid red card. Like Fulham away, 1-0. And when's the last time away from home we've gone 1-0 down and we turned it around? Can't remember. So that tells me I can't remember. It's been a while. When's the last time we've literally gone down 1-0 and we've actually won the game? It's been a while. I can't remember the last time we've done that. So that tells me what you're doing. You don't have the tools. You don't have the answers when our backs are against the wall. So I'm just thinking, yeah, I'm looking at Arteta. That's what I'm gonna say. He's.
I know what that means.
He's still. I'm looking at him. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at him with this team. I'm looking at him like, yeah, like I think I had enough. Like with the, I don't want him out yet, but I just think I think before I've been like, oh yeah, you know how Arteta. I think I've been accepting his stubbornness too long now, and it's starting to really, really irritate me. Like you were stubborn with Ethan, you were stubborn with not buying a striker, you've been stubborn with not buying a left winger. The team's been crying out for it, and you give us Sterling, bro. I rated the Sterling sign. I thought, bro, but even him, you don't play him. Like you don't switch up. You clearly don't trust Jesus. So why don't you buy another striker when you let Eddie go? Why don't you have what's going on here? Did you really think? Are you that naive that you think you're going to go a whole season just playing a guy who's not a striker every single game? Just like last season, are you that naive to think guys like Nketiah and Jesus are enough to play a striker for a team that's challenging for the title? Nketiah that's got 0 goals for Crystal Palace. Are you that naive to think that we were 8 points clear at the top of the table with a game in hand? It's a January transfer window. You can solidify the team. You don't really reinforce it to the level that we needed. And then Saliba gets injured, Saliba gets injured, and you're counting on Rob Holding to sustain. Are you that stubborn, that naive, that arrogant, that obtuse? I'm boiling with him. I can't even lie to you. So he's.
I don't think you're alone in that. I don't think you're alone in that regard, to be fair. Because you know the twins, Faisal Farah, they're not happy with him as well. Faisal was actually having a go at me when I was saying at the end of last season that like you shouldn't sack him, like he's just come within 1 point, this is that and the third. But it's hard to disagree with Faisal. It really is hard to disagree with Faisal if Arteta doesn't cross the line this season, because he's been given the backing, he's been given the £105 million player, he's been given Kai Havertz. He chose to spend the allocation of your funds on new defenders, etc., etc. So he's got made. Listen, it's not over, like you said. Like Arsenal still, even with a poor Kai Havertz, you lot still have the capability to score goals.
Squad is good enough. That squad is good enough to win the league.
So it's up to you. The gauntlet has been laid by Arne Slot. It's up to you to deliver.
Yeah, so let's see. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Arsenal, the Fulham match. Like, I'm not gonna speak like. I just thought we were pants. I thought we were terrible. I didn't think we looked like scoring a lot of goals. I thought Rice had another decent game. I liked how he was pinging the ball. I think his form.
You talk about Odegaard. Odegaard was terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible. But I think, but He was terrible, but like, what did he have?
What do you mean? What did he have?
Who? What? How could he unlock?
By playing well, by not turning over possession, by tricking,
Tricky,
turning.
tricky. Yeah, that's true. But like, what did he have in front of him?
Yeah, I hear you.
Who's making runs? Who's doing? And plus, and people
Is
want
he
to
going
look.
to find those runs?
Sorry.
Is he going to find those runs?
Yeah, he would, 100%. But I think, but then again, it comes down to the manager because what was the issue? They just kept doing the same thing, expecting to unlock it. That right hand just doesn't work. Odegaard can work when you actually get him to play balls down the left channel as well. It works. I don't know why. I've seen him do that. I don't. And there's a thing about Arsenal when we're playing against low blocks. We don't speeding up the play. It's just it's slow. It's turgid. It's just winding up to do something. Quick football. You guys are all technical ballers. It should be ping pong. Move the opposition left to right, left to right. We don't do that. And I'm thinking, what have you spent this money on this team for? Thank you, Nicholas Yova. I'm like, bro, like you've definitely changed the game, but bro, I'll tell you
exactly. That should be an add-on to
that should
be what it was last season.
That can't be the template on what. So I want to see like what's going on here. 100%. Like now, from a patterns of play point of view, it's just and I don't like the fact that despite the fact that we've got good players in our team, all it takes is one injury and the whole rhythm is disrupted. I don't like that at all. It keeps happening. Yes, Gabriel's a big loss, but I'm not going to blame Gabriel for that. Though Kivio's position.
The fans are talking about Kivio's back in the team, this, that, and the third. I mean, Kivio's not the reason why you can't score more than one goal.
Kivio's not the reason why we can't score goals. Why does Gabriel not playing have such a hindrance on the build-up, on things being slow? Why? And if you're going to play Timber left back, okay, great, play him left back. But he's inverting. He's coming inside. He's not progressing the ball as high up the pitch as he typically does. We know that when he plays left back, it's more lockdown. I'm going to lock you down. And he did lock down Adama Traore. Adama Traore did nothing. Whoever they played there, we locked him down. But
they weren't really. Fulham weren't really using the. They weren't really using.
No, they weren't. And they made bad passes on the counter attack. They played terrible. So if we're playing a different team that's actually willing to get at us, what's to say? Could we probably might have lost that match, and they score more goals. So it's just frustrating, man. Like, I'm looking at Arteta though. That's all I'll say.
We'll see. We'll call it. I'll change the title to this to "I'm looking at Arteta."
I'm looking at him because he's irritated me, man.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Well, I think the next time we speak, so you'll have played. I don't know who you got coming up this weekend. Who are you playing?
We've got Leicester, I believe. Is it
Leicester?
No, not Leicester. Everton.
Yeah, come on. Everton at home. Come on.
I just knew it was a team that's blue, wearing blue.
Come on, we know what's gonna happen. We know what's gonna happen. But anyway, Tosin, thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for jumping in. People, make sure you subscribe to Tosin's channel. The link to his channel is in the title and it will be in the comments as well. Subscribe to the channel, smash a like button on his recent post about Arsenal. And just keep supporting the podcast. Make sure you subscribe to my channels, or make sure you subscribe to us across all socials as well. And we'll be back next week to talk about all things Tottenham and Arsenal. Peace.
Take care, guys.